When I woke the other morning to the sound of my daughter's cry, I wondered why my white wife had not heard the call of our olive-skinned girl. It was my turn. So I rose up to greet her, and because today is today, I like to think I re-meet her. I say hi, and she wipes her eyes, and she walks by me to the kitchen, and I quickly let her pass. I did not want to interrupt her mission. It was milk. After satisfying her desire for dairy, she quickly raises her arms as if signaling to me it's okay to pick her up. As I hold her, she drinks her milk and often examines things about my face I would otherwise not know. She begins by touching my cheek, and then she pulls at the lobe of my ear, and it kind of hurts, so I catch her. As I begin to explain to her it wouldn't take much pressure, that is, to pull off a human ear. And I know she's only 2, but I thought I should tell her I only knew this because when they finally found Emmett Till, those white men didn't just kill him, but it probably thrilled them to hear him cry out for help. Subsequently, I too, when I was a child, I feared I'd end up just like him if I one day walked by the wrong group of white men. She then notices the marks on my shoulder and rubs her 2 fingers gently across the blemishes on my skin. And my daughter's only 2, but I felt that was a mighty fine time to remind her that my scars, they're a reminder of the lashed and torn skin of her father's father. And when I look in the mirror, I remember without fail. My daughter's only 2, but that was the time to tell her the only record of his birth is a bill of sale. She then looks in my eyes and sees the tired eyes of her meme, who was brave enough to love bigger than all the hate and discrimination in this nation. The formation of their union would soon bloom into a mirror image of fearless love. And my daughter's only 2, but I felt she should know Meme never let what people say bug her, but she's never gonna forget the night that ignorant white man called her a nigger lover. Yeah, it was that day she decided the fear in her and the hate from them she would fight it, yet only a few of those family members came that she invited to a ceremony designed to signify unity and acceptance. Instead, they got a lesson on the cruelty of rejection. My daughter's only 2, but I felt she should know. She had prejudiced family members, cousins, uncles, and aunts who probably could have been there that day, but simply did not want to. Mom, I know this haunts you, and it ought to. The idea of you marrying an older black man made some of your own blood not want you. My daughter starts to hug my neck tightly to show me she's excited and happy, and I ask her to go lightly because her shoulder, it was actually restricting the amount of oxygen allowed to my lungs and my brain. And I know she's only 2, but I felt that was a good way to explain how to avoid the same pain and fate as George Floyd, murdered out in public that by those that should be protecting me. A man's final word should never be, I can't breathe. And we can't. Maybe the idea of me succeeding too much scares you. I can't breathe anymore in sync with the rise and fall of her chest as she leans against me. I put her back down on the ground and she grabs my hands and she puts it on the fridge. Her belly was empty. She notices the calluses on my palms and at the bottoms of my fingers, and she asks me if my hands hurt, and I tell her no. But despite her being only 2, I tell her my hands barely stand to compare to your Uncle Nick's, whose thumb will never be the same since we went bowling late one night at Bama Lanes. Get back to your car, nigger. What did you say? You heard what I said. Get back to your car, nigger. Yeah, he said it to me twice, and I'm sure it felt nice to say it to me straight, surrounded by 3 friends that are white. My brother jumped in at the end of that fight. My daughter's only 2, but the timing felt right to tell her a dark part of me really wanted to hurt that kid that night. Maybe I should have. And I didn't. And I tell her that's because your grandfather, he raised me different. And I'd probably end up taking the blame of prison, all because that cracker never knew my name, just a pigment. I tell her, look at me and listen. This message is for you, but I can't forget to mention keep your hands on 10 and 2. When the police attend to a traffic violation, they'll end up apprehending you, if you're lucky, because when you reach too quick for that cubby, that's when they might start blasting rounds at you, and then they'll mask around the truth, and open caskets just a few. People there to remember my name, but not like the peaceful Martin or the relentless Malcolm. No, we are a whole generation trying to do this without them. So when I'm in slave heaven, I'ma be up there shouting, because death by gun has become my inevitable outcome. So how come? It falls on me to explain to my daughter your evil influence. That one day when I leave this house, I might not ever come back to it. Or the countless lives that have been lost, cut short, or ruined. It'll take most folks years to get what my girl gets at just 2. This one's for you, and you, and you. That white picket fence. Stop trying to teach me how to make $1. You never started making sense.